We're in downtown Kansas City, standing in front of the Fashionbilt building, which is a building that's been for sale for as long as I've been in town here. And we're about ready to go tour it. Ryan's in town. He's one of my students and coaches in our mentorship program. So he's never looked at a cool building like this before, I don't think.
No.
Like this. So this is his first time. We're gonna go check it out, let you know what we think. All right, come on. That's all new. Nice ass building, huh? Really well done. This is pretty, man.
It smells maybe built.
Yeah. So this would be a historical tax credit play. Look at, this is the headquarters of Bike Patrol. This is nice.
394 space garage. Huge positive.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money on that. When I see stuff like this, I'm just like, that's cool. Yeah, it's a nice renovation.
Yeah, it is. Clearly went through, sandblasted all of it when we put in the spiral duct work.
Sandblast all the wood beams?
Yeah.
That's why it looks so cool.
It has like a fuzzy texture to it.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Spent a lot of money here.
Cool, let's go up to the top. Conference room they built up here, added this cool piece. This is banging, huh? You got, how much is this window to replace, Danny?
Probably $1,500.
$1,500 for that freaking window right there. This is cool though. I mean,
this is so much character.
It's a nice building for sure.
Actually, that one might be one of them up high.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and they got two of them right there. That one costs money, and that one costs money. I don't know if you were getting that, but this is a brand new section of the building. This was attached when they built the parking garage. So 15 years ago, 10 to 15 years ago. Some amazing views here. You're fighting it out for this one. Look how pretty that is, huh? It's like a Chinese garden almost, or a Chinese walkway. I mean, this is about as clean of a building as I've ever seen. Clean, 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 clean. Okay, so let's see if this area extended. So look, there's their beam where they cut in the, looks like they cut in the elevators, right? So new brick, old brick, right? We can just look at one more floor. I mean, they all look the same. All right, so third floor. Looks like the wood's nicer here, or the lights are brighter. I think the lights are brighter. This is one of the better floors. Look at that. This thing is beautiful. One of the nicest office buildings I've ever seen. You're just going in and you're adding a bunch of plumbing, electrical, drywall, and hiding everything you can. Really cool. And that's a good idea. What is the solution for? I mean, what is the play for cubicles? I mean, are they coming back in style in like Japan or something? Man, all right, so what are the first thoughts? Ryan, you've never seen a building like this before? It's been for sale, let's talk about that. So it's been for sale for as long as I've been here.
Okay, so 2-3 years?
2-3 years. It's been in contract a bunch of times.
Okay.
You've got a mega corporation that owns it, not super motivated by money, but they do have costs associated with keeping this building going and worried about people breaking into it and other things going on. The question becomes very simple. What's it cost to build it, to make it a multifamily? How many units can you get? What kind of return can you get? It's already qualified for historical tax credits, meaning that they've already gone through the process and it is approved, from my understanding. I don't know what it's like to transfer those. I don't know how that is even done. What are your thoughts on the building?
I mean, it's gorgeous. It has a ton of character. In regards of structural integrity of the building, which would be some of your biggest expenses, you're not gonna have those. I guess what you taught me is what I would go through is look at what type of units you're trying to build. So if we're trying to build 1-1s or 2-1s, I'm gonna evaluate those close to what a single family would trade for around here. So if that's going to sell for $50,000, $60,000 a pop, how much is it going to cost me to convert one of these into a multifamily? Meaning, how much is each unit going to cost me? Am I spending 25, 30 grand per unit to do that? If so, then great. Now I'm 60% of what each unit's going to be worth. Now I'm adding value to the property overall. I don't know what they rented for per floor as a commercial, and then what you can get as a residential. So if we're talking 13 units per, and we're talking 800 square feet, we're probably renting it out for $800 to $1,000 a pop, right?
Yeah, so
850 times 13 is 11,000, and then they had 6 floors that were usable for that.
I think there's 7 floors total.
Well, let's just go 6, because for me, I'm thinking the 7th one's gonna be a communal space where you're gonna have pool tables, TVs, hangout areas, lounge areas, maybe a gym,
you want
whatever.
So on every piece of commercial residential, put all of your amenities outside, no common space.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, you want to like turn that all into unit count. Like in New York, think about what they would do in New York. Would they leave anything for?
No.
No, you want everything that you can.
So you're talking, you got the potential of $77,000 for all 7 floors, 100% occupancy at 13 units at $850 a pop.
So I think that $850 is low. I think 13 could be high. So let's just go with 1,000 per unit because they're all gonna be brand new.
You're saying 11 or 12 per?
Let's go 12. So let's go 1,000, which would be a super conservative number. So 1,000.
So 12,000
times 7.
Times 7. 84.
$84,000.
Times 12. So you're talking about $1 million a year right there if you're 100% occupied.
$1 million a year in gross rental income. And then you got to determine what your expenses are. Then you got to determine what your acquisition cost is, what your carrying cost is, what your cost of money is, all of those things. So this is like the first thing. Go look at a cool building, get inspired, see if something can be done. Now, here's the deal. I think this property was trading for like $9 million. Yeah. To me, it's a $5 million property.
You're gonna spend $4 million to convert it.
More. You're gonna spend $15 million to convert it, minimum. Okay, put it this way. I saw the budget for the guys who were gonna buy my building for $5 million. You know what their budget was to convert that?
What?
$28 million.
To convert all 8 floors, 9 floors, what do you have there?
11. It's actually 13, 12 floors if you count the mezzanine.
In the basement.
Well, that's not a floor, that's a basement. So it's actually 14 floors. Don't try to shortchange me, Danny. I think that like location-wise, this is one of the better locations I've seen. Like I would be cool if I lived here, coming and walking out, going for a walk down to the river, walking down to get a cup of coffee. I also have another revenue standpoint. If I'm only gonna be able to get, let's say 120, let's say 180 to 120 units in here, I've got an extra 200 parking spaces.
That's what I was thinking too. 50 bucks a month down there for at least for one of those.
So I got more revenue in that deal. So when I look at this, it's like, how do you get the seller to say yes to your offer that's gonna be super low? You gotta explain how you got there. Here's what I do know. You basically don't have to touch anything on the exterior. This thing is freaking bulletproof. Interior, your biggest expenses normally are gonna be elevators and fire sprinklers. Both those things are taken care of. Elevators are gonna cost you, let's just say in a building like this, $500,000 a whack. So we have 3 of them?
Yeah.
So that would be $1.5 million. To put a sprinkler system in here is gonna be over $1 million. Those things are taken care of. Let's go look at this parking garage here, check this thing out. I've been interested in this building for a long time. There's lots of stuff I'm interested in.
How would you tackle this from a financing standpoint? Because obviously the rehab, the conversion is gonna cost way more than the acquisition of the building.
So you've heard me say in the classroom a lot of times, there are no good partnerships a lot of times.
Yeah.
This is one that you want to partner.
You're gonna need it.
The ultimate partner on this is 3 people. For me, a construction partner, somebody that you can control the construction costs and give them a piece of the equity in this building. Like you go partner with like the biggest construction guy. Maybe you go sit him down with your accountant and explain how real estate can, if you partner in this deal, you're gonna get a bunch of depreciation and you're gonna have a long lifetime asset. If you could just say, hey, I'm gonna give you a good deal on the cost, that would be a great partnership. Another great partnership would be somebody who has done a ton of tax credit development. Bring them in on a smaller side. I think this is one of those things that you do. You come in, you raise capital, you partner with the right people to get this project off the ground and rolling. Because really what it is just connecting people. You're just spending money, you're just writing a checkbook. And if you don't know how much money you're spending a lot more than what you need to. So we got this floor, parking spots, they're being used. The way I look at Kansas City in the next 10 years, there's gonna be a lack of parking. There's an abundance of parking right now, but as all these buildings turn into multifamily, as they add 7 units, 7 buildings downtown, parking's gonna be a commodity.
Do you think that the conversion investors in commercial buildings like this can keep up with the builders that are building the brand new apartment buildings? Do you think they're controlling their costs better because they're building from the ground up?
That's a great question. I don't really know how to answer that, but I'm gonna say this.
Because that's your biggest competition.
Construction costs are uncontrollable by general,
yes.
Whether you're going new or old.
Yes.
The one cool thing about going old is that we know that we can get a tax credit.
Yes.
The thing that the new guys are relying on is they're relying on tax increment financing, which is like a TIF. They're relying on property tax abatements from the city. They're relying on other special things from the city. This is from the state and from the federal government that we can get those building credits. And those are 45 cents on the dollar. So if we did spend $15 million, it's actually only 7.5-ish.
When do you get that money back? When the job's
You
done?
could sell it, you could sell it day one to a bank and get 90 cents on your dollar. So great question. Let's say you are the bank, you're Commerce Bank, Ryan. I'm Troy, I've got this building. I've got $10 million worth of tax credits that I can sell you. You need $10 million worth of tax credits, so you're gonna pay me 90 cents on the dollar? You give me cash. I've got that cash now.
Do you still own the building?
I still own the building. You got the tax credits. You can go use them for whatever you need. You just made a 10% spread.
Tell me how, I mean, do you know how it would benefit them when they buy those tax credits?
Yeah, they get a 10% credit. They're a bank.
Yeah.
So they're conservative. So they just want the credits to offset their income. So they just get a 10% spread. So for them, they're just buying a 10% reduction in what taxes they would pay. It's a total situation where it's beneficial to them. They'll do it all day long. You can get 91 cents on the dollar.
So that's a way to get
Your money.
a lot of money to be able to throw into the conversion.
Correct.
Can you get that before you ever start construction on it?
Yes.
Interesting.
This was one cool thing that they did. They added on this 347 parking spaced parking garage attached to this building. We don't know enough about the building. Let's see if we have any details about it right now.
Nobody knew shit about the building.
Nobody, that tends to be the common theme.
All three of them look at each other like,
Commercial,
You know, I don't-
commercial is that nobody needs to do anything like except for the buyer. Buyer beware. Sales price 9.5. Furniture included. 77,000 square footage, located in the Garment District. 3-story attached parking. Garages, 394 spots. Top floor of the property has an amazing high ceilings. Executive conference room. Easy access to I-35. Now it's time for more research. So, should we buy the property? Should we raise the capital? How much capital do you got to raise? You know, if you're going to raise 50,000 bucks a pop, you're going to have to put 30% down. So if you get the property, you're not going to pay 9.5 for this. This property is not worth $9.5 million. You might want to buy this property for $6 or $5 million. Probably 50 bucks a square foot is where you want to be. It's about 4 million bucks, right?
3.85.
Yeah. So, all right.